Today's guest is a fine individual that has two careers. A solo career that went into this awesome career with this band. So, Skye, how are you? Okay, so we're going to start with part one, which is going to be your solo career. And then we'll roll into talking about Sumo Cyco. All right. What did you see or hear that made you say, I want to be a professional musician?
Well, really, it wasn't what I saw or heard, but it was what my music teacher, I guess, saw and heard. So when I was a young girl, I did a lot of different extracurricular activities, from dance and singing class to acting class. But I met one specific teacher. Her name was Ricky Rumble. She was a musician, and she really took me under her wing and told me that I had what it took if I wanted to pursue this as a full-time career. And because she had the experience in the industry, she was in her own projects, but she also was like a session singer and did singing in various different types of industries. She really guided me through, along with her husband at the time, who was a songwriter, on what steps I needed to take and what order I should do them. And
you were very young.
I was 12. Yeah. I was 12 years old. So it's quite a shock to, like, one moment I'm just going to a March break summer camp with my friends pretending to be a pop star, and the next thing to know, the music teacher is like, actually, you could be a pop star if you wanted to.
We're going to go for it.
Yeah, so it was quite an awesome experience, and I was really blessed to have someone who really wanted to take the time out to really teach me the ropes and to guide me through the early stages of my career. I learned how to write songs, learn how to go into a recording studio, feel comfortable. And once I did that, I was hooked. Yeah.
In 2004, you went on a North American and European tour, opening up for Britney Spears on the Onyx Hotel tour. That's 2 years into your career, basically.
Yes.
Tell us about that experience.
Well, it was wild. It was probably every teenage girl's dream to be on that tour. You get plucked out of high school. You're told, no, you don't have to go to school. You just have to go on this tour bus that has your face on the side. Oh my God. And we're going to drive you across America.
Did it literally have your face on the side?
It literally did. My dad would say, Skye, no matter what happens, don't let your head get as big as it is on that tour bus.
Go, Dad.
Yeah. And I could open the window and it would like open my face up and I could wave outside of my face.
Face was there.
Yeah.
Oh
so it was awesome. I mean, Britney was in her absolute prime.
Yeah,
we were in
prime time.
It was Toxic had just come out. It's like she was an idol of mine since I was a little kid, so it was pretty insane to walk down the halls and be like, "Hey, Britney!"
I know, right?
Yeah,
such an idol, something you saw.
Exactly. Exactly. So it really made me realize at a young age that dreams can come true, but it also gave me a lot of respect and for artists that are at that level of their career, because it's not easy to operate at that super high level, you know?
Absolutely. So 2007, you released Into Action with the legendary Tim Armstrong of Rancid. Give us some information on how that experience was.
Well, that was super cool. At the time, I was working at Capitol Records in Hollywood, and I had this great A&R guy named Julian Raymond, and he was always trying to hook me up with like interesting collaborations. So he said, what do you think about going over to this guy Tim Armstrong's house? He has a studio in his home.
Wow.
And I was like, you mean Tim Armstrong, like from the Tim Armstrong from Rancid? So me and my mom went over to Tim Armstrong's house, like knocked on the door, and he's like, hey, Skye, come in. And, you know, he's got that raspy voice.
Did you bring him like a gift or anything? Did your mom bring cookies or anything?
We were just there. We were like, just gonna see if we could like get along enough to write a song. And I have a funny story about it, because I really put my foot in my mouth the first time I talked to him, because I was talking about my experience at the record label and how they were trying to hook me up with all these different writers. I was working with this guy and over here and this guy, and you know, they're all trying to make me write these hit songs, these commercial hit songs. And he's like, and I was like, I need to find what's really real, like what's really authentic, not all these like hit writers. Like, and he was like, you don't think I could write a hit? And I was like, I take it back. I think you can write a hit. I just mean like you have like an organic like super cool story of how you came into the industry that I can learn from.
Very natural.
Yes, that's not necessarily like a manufactured, like, this girl sings this song and we take her out, put another girl in to sing it, you know? Like, I don't like the factory process stuff that can sometimes happen at major labels. I like to feel when you collaborate with someone, it's organic, like organic.
It's actually the two artists making that one.
Yes, exactly. So I was trying to describe it. Maybe didn't do it the best justice,
Oh, no,
but we got over it, and then we ended up writing a lot of songs together. Some of them which haven't seen the light of day, but a couple got on my solo record, and then he liked the song Into Action we did together so much that he asked if he could re-release it for his solo record.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
All right, so now that's going to lead us into part 2.
Okay.
Skye, lead singer of Sumo. All right, 2011, your first show. Skye left behind. 2011, your first show. You opened for Hollywood on Deck. Most bands open for a regional bar band for their first show. Recall some of those feelings and thoughts going into that show.
So that show was a very last minute opportunity.
Wow.
Apparently, this happens a lot, but when you're a Canadian band in Toronto and a big tour is coming through, sometimes what happens is that all the American bands or international bands are trying to get through the American-Canadian border, and one of the bands either gets held up or stopped for some reason, and visa isn't going through, and then last minute, the agent panics and is like, this band isn't going to make the opening gig for the show tonight. Who else do I have that I could call up to fill in?
Right.
And it just so happened, my partner, Matt, who's in the band, he was working a lot with this promoter at the venue where we performed with Hollywood Undead, with his previous band, Dodger. Before
What venue was that?
he was in a band called Dodger.
I don't know, was the venue?
Oh, the venue at the time was called Sound Academy. Now it's called Revel.
Okay.
But so they were like, yeah, we need you guys to fill in like tomorrow. Yeah. So we ended up being like, okay, rally the troops. I mean, let's go. Like, so we were bugging the promoter saying we had this new band. We wanted to get some shows, and he's like, well, here's your opportunity. Like, let's go. So it was kind of nerve-wracking, but it was really exciting. And another cool fact about that loops around to tonight's performance is the guy who was on drums with us during our first show, Brian Leger, was our very first drummer. He played that show with us, played maybe 2 other shows, and then got the gig to play for Every Time I Die.
Oh, wow.
Left Sumo Cyco, but he's back with us playing tonight at Never Early
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's a perfect circle there.
Yeah.
All right, so up next. In 2021, you released Bystander. This by far is my favorite song by you guys. Tell me some history and cool things about that song.
So Bystander was written in the depths of the pandemic, where all I felt I could do is watch everything disastrously unfold in front of the TV screen, and I couldn't be out there touring, doing the things I wanted to do, and I just felt like I was a bystander watching the world just falling apart. And I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. We're not supposed to get together. We're not supposed to be in this group, but I got this music career. I want to get out there. And it was just those conflicting feelings of watching it all kind of just the world just kind of go crazy and all these debates and the politics and the drama. And you're just like, and I just don't feel like I'm part of anything. I'm just sitting here on my couch.
Right, exactly.
So it was a feeling of like missing the live touring world. I was missing being out there doing what I want to do with my career, and just feeling like with all the things that were going on, from the Black Lives Matter movement to the COVID restrictions, the political climate, I just felt like I don't want to be that bystander just watching all of this happen and not try to do something about it. I tried to get involved in some of the causes. I tried, after a bit of feeling sorry for myself and the whole world that we were all stuck inside, I started going, well, what can I do with this situation? And that's when I started going, well, I can write a record about it. I can go online and raise money for the causes I believe in. I can do X, Y, and Z, and I need to stop feeling sorry for myself, so let's just do it. Don't be a bystander. Make the move.
You laid down a solid track, all that inspiration.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, up next. American Mosh Pits is all about live music. So there's a two-part question. Part one, what venue and festival do you want to shout out or shout at?
Well, I want to give a shout out. I was literally talking to my amazing merch girl assistant, Sophie, on the way over here about how the last time we were in Europe, we played Download Festival, which was one of the biggest festivals we'd ever were a part of. And it was in 2019, right before the pandemic. And we have not been over to Europe since. And we're heading back to Switzerland next month. So I would really like to give a shout out to that festival we're going to called Pulley Festival coming up next month. It's going to be our first time playing this festival out in Switzerland. I'm so excited to go eat some chocolate and just see the mountains. So I'm really excited about that. So thank you, Pulley Festival, for having us all the way to Switzerland. I can't wait.
Very cool. All right, up next, part two. What venue and festival is I've been waiting to play something else?
Oh my gosh. There's a lot of festivals in the States that Sumo Cyco hasn't been a part of yet. You know, Rockville. I mean, there's... Yeah. We haven't done, Sumo Cyco has not done a full summer festival run yet.
You're due.
We are due. So we're hoping this next record that's going to come out will help us kind of get that leverage to be able to get there for next summer. Maybe not this summer. By the time the record drops this October, we'll be coming back around touring next summer, and I hope that's the time we'll hit all the different cities in America and play some of those summer festivals.
Please put Camp Pennsylvania on your list.
Okay.
All right, last question. At American Mosh Pits last covered you in December of 2023. What remains the same and what is different in 2 years with your claims?
Oh, wow. Well, we have a new drummer, which I mentioned, that's with us, Brian Leger. So he's going to be banging on drums.
When did he start?
Literally, this is his first show.
Oh,
Yeah. So brand new, never seen before. We're adding a new song into our set this time, our new single that will be coming out shortly called Villains. I'm very excited to present this one to the world, and of course we got a lot more songs coming down the pike. Thought you guys could get a little sneak peek before we jump all into it, but that'll be different. And then honestly, over the last 2 years, I've been really trying to hone my craft as far as a vocalist by playing a lot, like in my house on piano, which I never ever did before. I would only ever really.
Time out. Do you like playing traditional piano, or are you a keyboard player?
I have a stand-up piano, but I love to just play like chords and songwrite and jam, like. That's my vibe. I didn't have a piano or wasn't playing for many, many years of my life. It only started in the pandemic. I had lessons when I was like a kid, but like kind of lost my love for it because I was so into the rock and roll.
And
then, I know. But then I started to realize how getting back to those basics, like basic warm-ups, basic chords, learning how to write a song just with like myself and chords before I go into the studio and add all the extra amazing riffs and amazing like drumming and bass playing, guitar playing. I wanted to be able to really distill it down. And I've been practicing just really in that scenario where you don't have all the distortion and everyone else playing all their complicated riffs. It really breaks things down to really hear where I am as a vocalist and how I can improve. It's super raw. So that's kind of the journey I've been on the last couple of years.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, is there anyone you want to say hi to at the end of the conversation we've been here?
I just want to say hi to everybody watching, all the Sumo Cyco fans watching. Thank you guys so much for the support. Thanks for American Mosh Pits for supporting Sumo Cyco and rocking out with us tonight. I can't wait for the show. It's going to be great. Hell yeah.
This has Vin and Skye. We're going to rock it out tonight here at Never Early Fest in Baltimore.